When I heard it was the 100-year reenactment of the Charge of Beersheba, I knew I had to go. General Allenby of the Allied forces called it the last and greatest cavalry charge in history. In the First World War, the ANZACs, Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, approached Beersheba from the eastern desert, surprising the Turks who held Beersheba. 800 men on horses charged 4,000 embedded Turks with machine guns in bunkers and captured Beersheba. This amazing feat turned the tide of the war in the Middle East. Then the ANZACs went northwards with the Allied forces to liberate Jerusalem. After photographing the reenactment of the Charge of Beersheba, I started my ride in the Golan Heights in the north of Israel with 2 horses called Zorg and Tzita. A young man wanted to come along, but within 24 hours he threatened to leave me. I told him to go ahead, as I knew he was trying to frighten me. He chucked the map on the ground and stormed off. I picked up the map with all the place names in Hebrew. I couldn't read Hebrew, but I could read map contours, and so I continued climbing into the Golan Heights. I found what I thought was a peaceful camp spot, with just some grunting wild boar and cackling jackals, until in the middle of the night I woke up as the ground vibrated with heavy vehicles passing by and machine gun fire. For several days in the Golan, it was so hazy as the wind blew the dust everywhere, in my eyes, up my nose, in my ears, as it jammed my camera lens. The wind was so strong I had to clench my hat string in my teeth to prevent it blowing off into a minefield. I found the people in Israel so hospitable, and within the first week I met a horseman who rode without a bridle, who put me in touch with an amazing chain of horsemen and women who saw to it I had a secure place to stop over at night throughout my whole journey. Some of them rode with me, which I so appreciated, as it was a challenging country to ride through. It was fascinating as I was literally riding through the pages of the Bible. Once I got to the spectacular Ramon crater in the Negev desert, which covers more than half of Israel, I circled back north via the Dead Sea, which is the lowest place on earth, 1,400 feet below sea level. I stayed at a kibbutz near there, and the soldier at the checkpoint asked why I wasn't afraid riding through the West Bank. I replied I trusted in my God. That day I rode from 820 feet below sea level to 2,500 feet above to the outskirts of Jerusalem through the Judean desert. Again I was met by another Israeli horseman who guided me up through the rocky, steep-sided canyons to the outskirts of Jerusalem. I tried to get permission to ride into Jerusalem. One friend said, "You could be waiting forever to get permission. They didn't say no. That means yes, just do it." So at 7 in the morning on a Sunday, I followed Lord Allenby's steps 100 years previously through the Jaffa Gate into Jerusalem. My horses slipped on the flagstones, which were worn smooth over hundreds of years, but we got through, only for the police to immediately be upon me, saying, "You can't come in here with horses." I blurted out, "But I'm British, and Lord Allenby and the Allied forces came in here exactly 100 years ago and liberated Jerusalem." They let me go. I finished my journey in Israel overlooking the city of Jerusalem. I had first been here when I was 19 after hitchhiking to Jerusalem, and it was overlooking this city that I asked Jesus into my heart to be my saviour. Jesus Christ was spoken and written about many times throughout the Bible, hundreds of years before he was born. The prophet Isaiah declared, "Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." 715 years later, Jesus was born in Bethlehem to a young virgin girl named Mary. To hear more of my adventures in Israel and purchase my book, please go to tracy-elliot-reep.com. Thank you.